Hello everybody, this is me ManBet201 and today we're reviewing Generations Drift and Generations Blur. Now, these are two figures that came out around the same time, in the same line, and yeah. So, some differences in vehicle mode, the paint schemes and how that's set up, the fact that he's a sniper rifle, and he has a sword, and the spoiler is much flatter here, whereas this one's up more. And yeah, they both roll fine, and if yours is not rolling fine, then you probably mistransform somewhere in the arms. But yeah, because these guys roll really well. And yes, the taillights are painted. Shocker right now! But yeah. And the headlights are clear plastic, same as the windows. His is more like a smoky color, like a smoky black, whereas this is more like a blue, transparent, or not transparent, translucent blue. The windows back here is like a dark blue, whereas this is like a very bright, almost silverish, but it's like a silver with blue tint. So yeah, let's get rolling with this. Alright, oh yeah, his wheels aren't painted, his are. So yeah. So we will be transforming Drift here first because he was the first one released. So we take the sword. Alright. Boom. Step one done. Unfold these legs. Unfold that. Boom. There we go. Separate the legs. You want to fold that in. Fold it in on the other side. Boom. Separate these tabs, and once you do that, okay. Since the arm popped off, I'll show you what to do with the arm one. Just to do it from here. So you just move that, hinge it up, or you just move that hinge right there. You just move that up there. Move the arm down. Boom. There you go. You're done. Do the same thing for the other side. And now, last step is you bring up that piece. Boom, there you go. And you get Generations Drift. Transform. Now, I will show you the transformation again, but this time with Blur. There's no changes. I always take off the back weapons. It just makes transforming these guys a lot easier. That, unfold that, just transforming him a little bit differently, but in the steps in different orders. Alright, do the same thing. Boom, unfold the leg. Oops, that fell out. Hinge that upwards. Boom, there we go. Alright, got that done. And you just unfold those arms, put that piece up, unhinge that, and we got Blur transformed. And there we go. And you got Blur fully transformed. Now, the biggest differences between these two guys is that the colors are different, and the head sculpt. Now you might be thinking this head sculpt for Blur does not look like Blur, and it is Blur, but IDW Blur, not G1 Blur. So if you're looking for G1 Blur, go buy the Takara Legends Blur figure, which came out recently, or like a year back or so, or Titan Returns Blur. That is a good G1 Blur. With Titan Returns, you will have to repaint the figure to look like how you did in the cartoon. Whereas with Legends, if you get the Legends version, you don't have to do any paint work at all. So yeah. So what's cool about Drift, and this applies with Blur as well, is, okay, for Drift, I open that up and then unfold the sword. I usually unfold that when we get here. Forgot to do that. So that is my bad. Boom, there you go. So you got your swords. You can fold them if you want. But you can take them out. Boom, they that's like a sheath. And you put them in his hands. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And yes, both swords do come out. And yeah. Pretty nice. And Blurr has the same sheaths. Now remember that gun that fell out earlier? It went into there. So you can take those out and put them in his hand. Pretty neat. So they both have the sheaths. His hold guns, his hold swords. Now what I find really cool, at least with a drift here, Blurr can't do it due to how to where his gun handle is, but he can. So let's just remove his accessories, smaller shorts. So you come back here, see this can unhinge. We hinge that a bit more upwards. And you could have him unsheath it. And granted, you can have him like about to like unsheath his sword. He's about to battle some Decepticons. Pull it out, boom, there you go. You can have him unsheath it. That does not unfortunately work for Blurr due to his articulation. You can try that, but I bet it probably won't work. Okay. So, okay, let's put it right there, I guess. It's the highest it can go. Yeah, you can't really get the hand at that angle. You can kind of almost get it, but it won't really go. So, the gimmick unfortunately does not work with Blurr, whereas with Drift it does. So I'll just remove their accessories and start with articulation. And I should probably just pick up Blurr. Drift, I mean. Because, yeah. Now, out of two, Blurr is the cheapest to get, whereas Drift is the expensive one, but isn't the most expensive of this mold. There's a Shattered Glass Drift, which looks awesome, but he's, like, expensive, and I'm like, I don't want to really pay that much money for that. But, yeah, that's what you get for it being Transformers Club, so, yeah. So, anyways. Articulation, knee bends, almost 90, but wait a minute, that's 90, yeah, 90 degrees. He can do the splits. He's double jointed in the elbow. It can't go all the way up due to that wheel, but yeah, he does have it, but that's mostly due to transformation. His arms can go 360. A little bit of trouble. There's some movement here for the doors, so you can move them. And they're on ball joints, so again, you can move them. Position them out of your way. You can look up. You can look down. It's on a hinge. And his head can go 360 degrees, but that is if it's really stiff, and I wouldn't... I think I just got some paint chipped on there. Yep. It's a paint chip because I tried to move it around. Go figures. Okay, wow, that got even bigger. That paint chip. I don't know if you can see it. Hold on. Man, my camera's not focusing. Yeah, you see it? That was just from turning the head around 360 degrees, so you can get some paint chipping off with this. And here's Drift. So it's cool. Now, the eyes are actually painted blue. I took apart his head. Because there's that light piping. he doesn't have light piping. Blurr doesn't have light piping, but Drift does. And I'm just not a big fan of light piping. Makes them look kind of dead when there's no light there. So yeah. So don't turn his head past there, otherwise you're gonna get scraped like I just did in this middle of this review. No, I'm like trying to figure out how to do a pose for him. With him. Maybe just, you know what? I think I got the pose. Just go like. There we go. Here we got Generations Blurr and Generations Drift. Two excellent figures. Would highly recommend both of them. But however, I will note that only get Blurr if you want an IDW Blurr. If you want a G1 Blurr, get a G1 Blurr. Or G1 styled Blurr. Anyways. And totally not foreshadowing the next review. Not at all. Not one bit. At all. Anyways. Hope you guys enjoyed this video review of Drift and Blurr. And please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, see you guys in the next review. Peace.